In the early stages of development, Blade Trinity was envisioned as a grim, post-apocalyptic action movie where vampires ruled the world, and Wesley Snipes' Blade was humanity's last hope. But at some point, screenwriter and future director David Goyer, after consulting with the studio, decided to change the direction entirely. The post-apocalyptic version, they claimed, was too dark and depressing. That decision became the root of all the drama that later unfolded on set. Wesley Snipes and Chris Christopherson, who played Whistler in all three films, loved the original darker script and hated Goyer's new vision. Director Stephen Norrington, who made the first Blade, was offered the job after Guillermo del Toro turned it down. But after reading the revised script, Norrington passed immediately, calling it stupid and boring. One by one, every director refused, until the studio finally handed the project to David Goyer himself. Goyer was a well-known screenwriter in Hollywood. He wrote the scripts for the first two Blade films, worked on Dark City, The Puppet Masters, and many others. His Hollywood career even started with Jean-Claude Van Damme's Death Warrant. Writers like him often get a chance to direct, and sometimes it works out brilliantly. Shane Black with Kiss Kiss Bang Bang, David Twohy with Pitch Black, Kurt Wimmer with Equilibrium. But sometimes you get, well, the other kind. Production on Blade Trinity was a nightmare. Furious about the script changes, Snipes constantly offered ideas for improving his character. Goyer ignored all of them. It's hard to say who was right. Nobody knows exactly what Snipes was proposing. There's only one unverified rumor about Snipes wanting a love scene between his character and Jessica Biel, which would have added nothing to the story, so Goyer rejected it immediately. Whether it's true or not, this attitude sent Snipes into a rage. He accused Goyer of racism and trying to push him out of his own franchise. According to Snipes, the previous films were never this white, unlike Trinity. Then came the t-shirt incident. A background actor showed up wearing a tank top with the word garbage on it. Snipes exploded, cursed out Goyer, and refused to film. The crew insisted the guy chose the shirt himself after being told to wear something casual. Snipes did not care. Actor Patton Oswalt later claimed Snipes stopped coming to set entirely, stayed in his trailer, and smoked weed all day. Snipes just laughs at this and says, "Who even is Patton Oswalt?" accusing him of making it all up for attention. Eventually, things escalated so badly that Goyer told Snipes he had had enough close-ups and would use a stand-in for the rest. Snipes snapped and allegedly tried to choke Goyer. After that, Goyer hired bodyguards to keep Snipes away from him. Snipes insists he was reacting to being squeezed out of the film and replaced by Ryan Reynolds, whose role grew significantly as production went on. Goyer says he expanded Reynolds' role only because Snipes refused to appear on set, and he had no choice. Reynolds himself later said Snipes never spoke to him directly, communicating through intermediaries and calling him an idiot or an asshole while threatening to beat him up. When the film finally hit theaters, Blade Trinity didn't completely bomb, but its box office numbers were noticeably worse than the first two movies, despite its higher budget. With numbers like that, New Line Cinema saw no point in continuing the franchise, and the rights eventually returned to Marvel. The Blade films were never massive box office performers. The 1998 film cost $45 million and earned $132 million. Blade 2 cost $54 million and earned $155 million. Decent, but after marketing costs, the margins were tiny. The third film cost $65 million and made only $129 million, failing to even recoup its production budget. How much they spent on marketing is anyone's guess. After the release, Snipes sued the producers and the studio for over $5 million, claiming they ignored his creative input, cast actors without him, changed the script behind his back, and repeatedly insulted him on set because of his race. The case was settled out of court, and the amount he received remains unknown. In interviews, Snipes admits partial responsibility for the film's flaws, but denies almost all accusations about his behavior. The truth, however, is that everyone shares the blame. The studio, afraid to commit to a darker, more epic post-apocalyptic story. Goyer, who struggled to direct a large-scale film and tried to shift focus onto a team dynamic. and Snipes, who reacted emotionally as he watched the spotlight move away from his character. But to be fair, everyone had their reasons. The studio didn't want to invest blockbuster-level money in a series that had never been a blockbuster. Goyer had legitimate concerns about the franchise hitting a ceiling, and Snipes had every right to be upset that his character was being sidelined. If the movie had turned out great, we could have argued who was right. But it didn't, and here we are. Interestingly, Goyer's career survived untouched. He later directed The Invisible and wrote scripts for films like The Dark Knight, Jumper, and Man of Steel. And more recently, this incredibly talented gentleman helped bring us Terminator Dark Fate. That was Frameback. See you on the next Rewind.